Hello and welcome to the 16th installment of migrating of all of the expansion cards in Terraforming Mars. This is the 5th episode on Colonies. As always, if you want insight into the grading system, check out the description or click on the link in the top right hand corner to get to the first video where I explain it all. If you want to know how I go about ranking the expansion cards compared to the base game cards, check out the first video of rating expansion cards, which is also linked in the description. But let's get started. We all know that the Colonies expansion doesn't offer a lot of goodies for Rush players. No space events like Comet or Big Asteroid, no crazy green combo pieces, and just 3 cards that grant plant prot. One out of these 3 is Lunar Exports, and you will almost never want to play it for its plant prot. But why not? If we calculate the value of the MC prot, that's 5 times 4.5 MC, we get 22.5 MC, versus 24 MC worth in value for the plant prot, based on sponsors and adapted lichen respectively. The problem with this are the underlying cards used for the calculation. Yes, adapted lichen is the most basic card granting plant prot, and it costs 9+3 to buy and play. But it is not a great card, and often the plant tag on it is the main reason you play it. Also, there are just cheaper alternatives. Archaebacteria and designed microorganisms suggest that the value of early plant prot is closer to 9 MC. Versus these cards, Lunar Export seems quite expensive, offering plant prot at a rate of 11 MC. You might say, well yes, that's because you can play it later and you're not restricted by a max requirement. But then I say, if I want to play a plant prot card later in the game, when Archae and microorganisms are already dead, then I'll just play something like heather, grass or bushes, which are all cards that are way more cost effective. So for plant prot, Lunar Exports is too expensive early on, and in the mid game it just doesn't compete with the newly unlocked cards. For MC prot, however, it is pretty good as an early game development card. It pays back in the same amount of gens as sponsors and acquired company, after 5 gens, with one upside. You can also pay for it with titanium. So especially if you pull a prelude granting a bit of titanium, or if you're playing as Phobolog or Polyphemus, it's a great card in the opening hand. Yes, the flexibility it provides can sometimes be valuable, for example if you're swimming in titanium in the mid-game and truly do not need any more MC prot. But most of the time you will just want to use it as a regular old development card. I think it's a bit better than acquired company and sponsors, but not by much, so I will also place it in C tier. We get to another development card with an Earth tag, and it's an interesting one again. Lunar Mining is a card with huge potential and definitely one of the most potent cards for the Miner award, as well as for Blacksmith on Vestitas Borealis if you're playing on BGA or the board. With a cost of 11+3 MC, you just need to play this as your 4th Earth tag for it to be worth it, as one titanium prot usually costs a 10 MC total. Obviously, MC, steel and titanium production lose in value quite fast, so if you have to wait for too long for enough Earth tags to come in, Lunar Mining might not be the correct play anymore. Often, I'm much happier seeing Cartel in the draft, and I'll tell you why. If we include the cost of the card into the calculation, we get the following payoff for the amount of Earth tags you play. You'll see that Lunar Mining is straight up worse than Cartel for anything under 6 Earth tags, and only pulls ahead with 8 Earth tags. However, it will be worse again at 9 Earth tags, and will remain worse for any reasonable uneven number of Earth tags you can imagine. Also, at the start it takes more Earth tags to even be worth it to play at all. Combine this with the fact that Titanium prot is just less flexible than MC prot, and you'll see that Lunar Mining is just not as good as Cartel on average. That doesn't mean it's a bad card or cannot be absolutely ridiculous in certain scenarios, but I think it means that it will land in C tier. Now we get to a card that sadly I think is cooler as a concept as it is in reality. In theory, market manipulation allows you to game the colony tags to get a bigger payoff while your opponent will hopefully trade for a lower one. In reality, that's often not how it works out. The main reason for that is that there are always at least 2 colony tiles more in play than there are players. So if you lower the track on the colony tile you deem to be second best, your opponent will often just trade with another colony. And then in the next gen he might trade with the best colony tile that you traded with after playing market manipulation yourself, and you'll end up questioning yourself whether or not it was a good decision to lower the 1 colony track with which you would like to trade now that it's 1 gen later. Naturally, there will be some scenarios in which your opponent has an obvious colony tile that he trades with each gen and in which you're not interested in. Maybe he's got 2 colonies on Enceladus and trades there each gen to collect microbes for decomposers while you have no use for microbes at all. But even then, what is the expected payoff of market manipulation? 1 microbe less for your opponent, which would be a third of a point in this case, and then maybe 3 MC more for your trip to Luna? That's just about what you pay to buy and play market manipulation. Of course, it can definitely improve with the right combo cards, and if you draw it for free and use it wisely, it is almost always a good play at all stages of the game. But I think it offers just too little of an impact to overcome the opportunity cost of picking it up in the draft, and therefore I'll place it in D tier. One of the cards you could combo market manipulation with is Martian Zoo, and this one is a card that I love. I've seen too many players underestimate it as an early game development card, especially combined with the colony on Miranda. Just fly there each gen, get 1 or 2 animals which basically act as instant MC and MC prod, and draw cards, possibly more Earth tags which will then further increase payoff of Martian Zoo. This strategy is especially neat since most of the time you'll have Miranda to yourself for a while, since many of the animal collecting cards have higher requirements. But even without Miranda, Martian Zoo can be worth it. Earth tags are great, and there are many different kinds of them that you will want to play at different stages of the game, leading to more animals in your zoo. The only problem with this card is its super annoying 2-city requirement. And since so many Earth tags are great early game development cards, I often want to get them down before I get the chance to play Martian Zoo. This definitely prevents it from being a true top tier card. Just know that if you can get this card down early enough, and especially if Miranda is in game, then it is an absolute powerhouse. B tier for me. And for the last card of today's video, we'll have to talk about Mining Colony. I won't rephrase what I said in the last episode and the one before, when talking about Interplanetary Colony Ship and Ice Moon Colony. Just know that trading and by extension colonies are super strong. The most basic colony card, ICS, which costs 15 MC to buy and play, is therefore a B tier card. How does Mining Guild compare to it? Well, it grants a titanium prod on top, which is worth 10 MC. This means the card deals 25 MC in value for a cost of 23 MC to buy and play, making it a bit more efficient, but of course also a little less flexible. It grants production, which loses in value the longer the game goes on. Therefore, it acts more as a specialized early game colony that you want to place on Luna or Pluto in Gen 1, and isn't the best choice for mid to late game colony on Enceladus or Miranda. Therefore, I think it's similar enough in value to Interplanetary Colony Ship to also land in B tier. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know in the comments whether you agree with my ratings, or if not, how you would have rated these cards differently. Also, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and consider subscribing. And lastly, please check out my Twitch and my Twitter. See you in the next video.